minimalist and eco-friendly at the same time. I'm gonna show you some ways that I stay eco-friendly, even just a little bit, while being minimalist in my day-to-day habits, such as like cleaning and laundry and stuff like that. A lot of people have been asking me, you know, how I do my laundry in an apartment, with things like soap nuts and just kind of stuff like that. So I'm not one to use typical laundry detergent. I like actually using soap nuts, and I'll show you how I use them. So soap nuts are natural. They're actually nuts that have antibacterial properties. So these are my soap nuts bag. This is my soap nuts bag. I bought 35 ounces about a year ago, and I have this much still left. And how I do that is, so these nuts are reusable, and that's why I have them in a little bag like this. And they look like this. I don't know if you can see. So they look like this, and they kind of have this weird smell to them, but after washing, your clothes and things don't smell like this. Your clothes don't smell like this. Typically you can tell their life expectancy based on how like mushy they get after a while. I think for 8 of them, I'll typically use them 3 or 4 times. I think 3 times is good for 8. And in a single wash, so you can use them 2 different ways for doing laundry. In a single medium-sized load, you can take about 4 and put them in. It comes with a slightly like a cotton or like a mesh bag, like a small bag, and you put them in the wash with your clothes. They activate, the soap activates on warm water. So if you know you're like me and you wash your clothes in cold water, what I do is I run it under hot water for a little while, for like a minute or so or a little less, before throwing it into the wash. I like to squeeze the bag as well so that it gets like sudsy, and you can even see the soap just coming right out of it. My kitchen's kind of dirty, so I'll typically put it on like high heat and just drop them in. And I wait for that to come to a boil. It came to a good fuzzy boil. That's activated by heat, and I just let it sit here for a minute, and then I will collect it in this jar. I like reusing jars. So I added more water, and as you can see, so every time I make this, which is every week or so, whatever is left and doesn't fit into the jar, I'll use this for cleaning my countertops, and if there's even some left over, I'll just like quickly scrub the top. So when I do laundry, I do have a pretty good setup where, because we sleep in hammocks, we have our hammocks, so it's 2 hammocks and 2 comforters, 1 for each. And then Emerald also, because he's still bedwetting, so he has like a pad that goes under him. I bought 2 of them and then cut them up, so I technically have 4 right now, but he puts that underneath him when he sleeps, and so because of that, I'm a little lazy to hand wash all of our bedding. I have a good setup where that is a possibility, where it would still be fairly easy because we are minimalist. We don't own many clothes, we don't own much bedding, and so therefore we don't accumulate much laundry. However, every 2 or 3 days we do have to do laundry, otherwise we don't have clothes. So I understand how some people don't like the idea of doing laundry every 3 days. But then again, those people probably own a lot of laundry where that would be a lot of work. Whereas for me, we just have our 2 bags, our laundry bags, which you can imagine are quite small. They're mesh, so I can either leave like the sensitive garments in the mesh bags to wash in the washer, or I can just take them out, which is typically what I do. And then I'll just leave them on like a delicate cycle, cold, and then I just mostly will hang wash them. Unless of course they're like comforters, because I don't have patience for that. How I do that in an apartment is I'll take them out and then put them on my hangers, and I'll hang them in the bathroom. And I usually leave the door open when I do this, so that obviously air can circulate. But we don't have like a clothes drying rack. That's not something I own. I just hang them up in the bathroom on the curtain rod and let it dry. It usually takes like a day. And so I will link these in the description down below, this exact one that I purchased. I did have a huge 3-gallon jug where I would refill water at our local Whole Foods, but it broke yesterday. As of right now, I just use 1-gallon jugs of water. We're moving soon anyway, so I don't really see the point of getting another 3-gallon jug until we move. So things like that kind of fit into what we're doing right now in our lifestyle, but just know that before that I was using an actual huge jug. So a lot of people aren't aware that plastic can only be recycled a certain amount of times, and with that knowledge I try and purchase goods that are mostly in glass, or I try to make most things myself. I can still at least be eco-friendly in most of the stuff that I do. So another great example is I have like these bags that I got from IKEA. They're I think a little less than $1 each, and I use these every time I go grocery shopping. Because I'm minimalist, this is pretty much all that I own as far as bags goes. I do own another 1 or 2 of these, and that's it. I reach through mysterious ceilings, my only hope